Today we're going to be talking about ways to come up with a down payment that maybe you thought of, but maybe you didn't. Saving up to buy a house can be one of the most daunting aspects. Even though we have loan programs where you only have to do 3% down or 3.5% down, or maybe you're buying another house, 5% down, owner occupied, it can feel like a lot, with if you're currently renting, the cost of rent versus the cost of living and your paycheck, it can feel like you'll never be able to save. So let's talk about a couple ideas of how I've seen people save to buy a house and some of the kind of fun ones where I'm like, this makes sense. And some of these are just good for the environment as well. Like you're gonna make money and you're gonna help the environment. So let's start off with my favorite one from this year. I was talking to a client, Melanie. She's so nice and lovely. And we were talking about her income because we're not using her income on the application because she's only been doing it for a year. But basically what she does is she's on TikTok and she does videos with products. So she'll show, for instance, she had a video with a rake. It was a rake that raked long dog hair, and she just demonstrated, because she has dogs that shed, how it worked. And the video is great. She has an affiliate link, so anytime anyone buys that dog rake from her video, she gets money. Guys, she had already made like $30,000 in like 5 months. It was crazy. And you may be like, oh, she probably has a ton of millions of views. No. Oh, she probably has millions of subscribers. No. Oh, she's probably wearing something, provocative. No, guys, she doesn't even show her face. She doesn't show her body and half the stuff. It's like her arm. It's wild. So there is this whole world of selling stuff via affiliate links that's opened up in social media that can actually make you money. I was shocked. I was so shocked. When she was telling me about this, I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm going to start doing this. This is amazing. So that's a really good one, especially if it's like stuff you already use. Like find the affiliate link, give it a go. Okay, what else? You're like, I don't want to deal with that. Great. Fiverr. I love Fiverr. I've loved Fiverr for years. Fiverr. So with Fiverr, there's all these different, what do we want to call it? Skill sets, right? That you can use. If you have any of these skill sets, you can sell your skill set on Fiverr. So like, for instance, back in the day, I used Fiverr to build my business. I couldn't afford to hire people to help me with stuff. And back in the day, it was like $5. Nothing's $5 anymore. So for instance, recently I used Fiverr. This was last year, for our military fundraiser. I needed help with a video. I spent, $150, and someone did a voiceover for a video. And they have all these different things. So I would go on, if I was trying to save for a down payment and looking for like an easy side gig, I would go on Fiverr and be like, okay, what am I good at where I can set myself up as a seller? And then just make sure that you deliver customer service, because you can really make extra money on sites like that. Without having to build a whole business. Like, it's plug and play. Just make sure that you perform on what you do. And if you're like, well, Jen, I don't really have any skills. Okay, I did once pay for someone in a banana costume to hold up my business sign and tap dance. And they weren't even a good tap dancer. Like, look, there's so much on there and you never know what people want. So definitely check out Fiverr. Are there people using OF for down payments? 100%. So if that's your bag, there's no judgment for us. However you make your money, we support. Okay. Classic. Can we talk about an oldie but a goodie? Babysitting. Seriously, babysitting. I know it sounds crazy, but like, parents have such a hard time finding a babysitter. And if you can show, like, if I was hiring a babysitter for a young child, like, there's all these different services that you can sign up with that are going to do a background on you, get that CPR certificate, but they're all online. So it's not like you have to go door to door. Do you need a babysitter? Excuse me, ma'am, do you need a babysitter? No. And then another one that's great, Rover. Okay, so look, for Rover, this is better if you own your own house, because it's a dog boarding website, right? But what happens is, I use Rover all the time. I met Sarah, the gal who watches my dog, through Rover. How does it work? Super easy. I put in where I was and the dates that I wanted to travel. Then I looked at a couple people's profiles. It had like their pictures, what they like about dogs. I called and I interviewed her. I looked at other reviews. guys, they're making good money. Like that's the thing. Like having a dog stay with you, like my dog is zero trouble and it's like $60 a night. My dog thinks she's a cat. It's good money. So there's so many sites out there right now to help you guys get extra money. It's wild. And look, with Rover, if you're like, Jen, I'm renting, but I love pets. What do I do? You can do it where you go to their house when they're not there and watch the animal. So of course, with all of this, be safe and everything else, but there's so much opportunity. There was none of this when I was younger. If there was, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. So if you're saying I can't save for a down payment, I really want you to look at some of these side gigs, because even with a full-time job, look, let's use the babysitting. Is your full-time job 7 days a week? No, go watch a kid on a Saturday or a Sunday, make $30, $35, $40 an hour. Like it's nuts in certain parts of the country, and parents really need help. Okay, getting married, are you? Ask for a down payment as part of your gift. That was actually the inspiration for this video. I had read this article and they had surveyed 1,100 people. Not a huge survey, but I'll take it when it's interesting. So they surveyed 1,100 people and 48% of them had asked people coming to their wedding to donate towards a down payment instead of a gift. I love that. And here's why. You're like, of course you do, you greedy lender. No. Guys, do you know how many stupid things I have bought for people getting married? Like, nobody needs a silver-plated knife and fork tosser, a salad tosser, right? But that's what it is. It's like $400, a salad tosser. Who uses that, right? Or a cake knife for $200. What the heck is going on? Or a toaster for $50 that should be 10. I would much rather give money to whoever's wedding I'm going to for a down payment, because people like being a part of that, right? Like when my son gets married, if he's like, Mom, would you help us towards down payment? I'll be like, oh yes, of course, my dear baby. Of course, right? I want a roof over his head. And that's what you guys need to think about, because old school, would that have been considered tacky like 40 years ago? Yeah. Now, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We've seen crowdfunding for honeymoons. This is not tacky. So if someone's telling you it's tacky, they're wrong. Okay. Yes, I'm an etiquette expert as well as a mortgage expert is now. Ask for money towards your down payment. They could still give you a gift, but you could just say, hey, we're really trying to save for a house. If you find it appropriate, we would love, any consideration towards our down payment. That's it. Could be $500. Who cares? Great. The other thing is just gifts in general. So when I was buying a house a couple years ago, I told my family, I'm like, guys, I'm not giving you any gifts, because really what's happening is you guys are buying me stuff I can buy myself. I'm buying you stuff that you can buy yourself. None of us really like it, and we're all just wasting money. And it was true. That's the thing. So I would look at what you do with your family in terms of gifting. Now, would I stop giving gifts to my son? I mean, honestly, I did switch him to trips a long time ago where it was experiences from gifts. But look, if my son said to me, Mom, I'm trying to save for a house, I'm not going to get you any, I'd be like, sure, baby, sure, right? That's the thing. A lot of times we're buying gifts for people who don't need it. Small children, get them the gifts, okay? They're small children. Although if it's your small children, a house is the greatest gift, because you're teaching them how to build generational wealth. That's right. And that could actually be a fun lesson is, hey, we're not doing gifts this year. This is what we're going to do. Let's talk about money. Oh, I love that. I love that so much, actually. Talk about money with your kids early. And then the other thing is, look, if you have family members where they're going to give you gifts, you don't even give them gifts, I would ask for cash, right? I would just say, hey, I'm really trying to save up for a house. So if anyone wants to help, help. And I would tell my whole family I'm buying a house. And if anyone wants to help, help. You would be surprised. I have clients where sometimes they don't even need the help, but grandma is dead set. Grandma's like, I wanted every single one of my grandchildren to have $5,000 towards building a house. That's what grandpapa would want. Okay, grandma, help me. And sometimes people are like, well, I don't want to take a gift from my family. I want to do this on my own. Why? Like if they're going to make you pay it back, or they're going to hold it over your head, or it's blood money, don't do it. I agree. But if it's just because they love you and they want to help, let them be part of it. Okay. Once again, my son, If he said, Mom, I'm not taking your money, I would be like heartbroken, right? Like, as a parent, that is something that we live for. We live for the ability to help our kids when we can. So look, ask for gifts, take gifts, just don't take gifts if it's really a loan or your parents or family members are going to torture you over it. Okay. Sell stuff. That's right. Sell stuff. So moving is so expensive unless you're moving yourself. Even if you're moving yourself, U-Haul's gotten a little spendy recently. So what I always suggest is if you're thinking of buying a house, even if you're like, oh, I don't have the money, it's so far away, we're going to make it happen. Okay. We're going to make it happen. Start cleaning your house. Yeah. 2 piles, 3 really. Keep. Let's say we're going through our closet. Keep, donate, sell. Yeah. Sell, baby, sell. And you're like, well, where do I sell this stuff? Poshmark. Poshmark's a good one. Poshmark, like, you have to do the work for sure, but you're going to get the highest return, especially if it's a name brand. And name brands that I usually see, sorry, I'm trying not to sneeze, do well on Poshmark. Like, if you have activewear, people love activewear. Nike, Sweaty Betty, Lululemon, Alo, all those really overpriced activewear brands, people love them. And so Poshmark, ThreadUp, I love ThreadUp, right? We don't all have name brand stuff all the time. ThreadUp's awesome. You put your stuff in a box, they give you a label. The label goes straight to them. They go through the box. Now look, sometimes it can take a hot minute with them, and they divide it between what they're gonna sell and what will get donated because they don't think they can sell it. Now look, are you gonna get the highest return with ThreadUp? No, you're not. Like, I actually use ThreadUp as a savings mechanism as well, because I'll get these emails that are like, congratulations, Jennifer, your sweater just sold. And I click on it and it's like, your commission is 36 cents. And I'm like, you sold the sweater for $1. You took the bulk of it. I got 36 cents and I never wore this sweater. I bought it final sale and it was $100. ThreadUp can be heartbreaking, but if you don't want to deal with the effort of really selling it and then shipping it, ThreadUp's great. Okay. What else? Facebook Marketplace. Now, personally, I haven't done it. I have a lot of safety concerns, but here's the thing. And ladies, I'm going to say this, ladies, gentlemen, everyone, really be careful whenever you're meeting strangers. I know I shouldn't have to remind you this. There was a Magic School Bus episode, but be careful because there have been Facebook Marketplace robberies. But I have a lot of people I know who've used Facebook Marketplace and they love it. If there's furniture that you're no longer using, maybe you got new patio furniture, sell the old. Even if you're selling it for $100, that's $100 towards your down payment. Go through your house. And there's lots of other platforms. I don't love eBay personally. I don't know. Do any of you guys love eBay? I feel like eBay's for professionals. That's my vibe on it, but don't really love eBay. Etsy is really for if you're creating something. I do like Etsy as well. Like, if you have a skill, like wreath makers, man, you guys are charging a lot these days. Kudos to you. But look at where you can sell stuff. And the bottom line is this, let's use clothing as an example. If you haven't worn those shoes in 2 years, you're never going to wear them. You're not. That day will not come, okay? Those aspirational jeans that you bought 4 years ago because you're going to be a size 4, girl, it is not happening. That was just me telling myself. Anyways, it's not happening. Go through your closet and be realistic. I would argue that a lot of us have clothes from different weights. I don't know. Is that just me way in? And I think it's really important, something I did about 2 years ago, because I go through periods where, you can see it in my videos, it's actually kind of comical, where I'm really enjoying life and Oreos and wine. And then there's the period where I'm being healthy. So I had a pretty big wardrobe that spanned. I sold this all. And that's the thing. When you sell out the size you don't want to be, it keeps you where you need to be. So something to definitely consider. And also, guys, when you move, it's expensive to move, so you don't want extra stuff. You're manifesting, you're moving forward by starting the work of cleaning your current space to get ready for your new one. So look, there's tons of more ways to save for a down payment. If you have suggestions, drop them in the comments. We're a community. So I would love to know what you guys recommend, and thanks for watching if you got this far.